All right, so picture this. You land in Eugene, Oregon. Maybe you're heading to the university or, planning to catch a game at Autzen Stadium.
Or just soaking up that Pacific Northwest vibe.
Exactly. And imagine having, like, a comfortable home base right there on Willamette Street. That's what we're going to dive into today.
Yeah, we're looking at a specific short-term rental listing. The address is 2351 Willamette Street.
That's the one. And our mission really is to unpack what this place offers, get a feel for the host, Sean, and, highlight the key things that might make this the spot for your Eugene trip.
Give you a clear picture of what to expect if you were to stay there.
Right. And just a quick heads up before we really get going, that street name, Willamette, it's pronounced Willamette.
Good to know. Willamette. Got it.
So this property, it's not just one house or apartment.
No, that's what's interesting. It's actually a building with 6 distinct homes inside, which straight away tells you there's flexibility, right?
Yeah.
For different group sizes.
Totally. From solo travelers maybe up to bigger groups, it mentions accommodating up to 18 guests if you booked multiple units, I guess.
Wow. Okay, so let's break down those units. What are the options?
Okay, so there are two two-bedroom units. Those are units 4 and 5.
Right.
Unit 4 sleeps up to 4 people. It's got a queen bed and a couch bed.
Okay.
And Unit 5 actually sleeps up to 6. It has 2 queen beds and a couch bed, so a bit more space there.
Gotcha. 2 queens and a sofa bed in Unit 5. Makes sense for a slightly larger family or group. What else?
Then you've got 3 one-bedroom units, units 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, 3 of those.
And interestingly, these also sleep up to 4 guests each. They have a king bed and a couch bed.
Huh. So even the one-bedrooms are set up for small groups or families. King bed plus the extra sleeping space? Seems versatile.
Yeah, it does seem like they've thought about maximizing flexibility. And finally, there are 2 studio units.
Studios, right. 4A and 4B.
Yep. Each sleeps 2 guests. 4A is downstairs, queen bed, and it has a full kitchen.
Oh, a full kitchen in the studio. That's a nice feature.
Yeah, definitely. And then 4B is upstairs. It's got a king bed, but a kitchenette instead of a full kitchen.
Okay, so different strokes there. Downstairs studio for cooking. Upstairs maybe more for just quick bites. Seems thoughtful, catering to different needs.
Yeah, it seems that way. Now, stepping inside, what about the general feel, the amenities? Sounds like some updecks have been done.
Yes, the listing mentions the upstairs one-bedroom units specifically have updated interiors.
Okay.
But a really key thing across the board seems to be these modern, fully stocked kitchens. They even say new supplies.
That's huge. Showing up somewhere and the kitchen's actually usable, not just bare cupboards.
Exactly. It shows a focus on practical comfort. What else? New flooring, new linens, bedding, ceiling fans, both upstairs and down.
That's pretty fresh then.
Seems like it. Plus, entertainment-wise, 2 new 55-inch Roku TVs in each unit.
2 TVs, okay.
Yeah. And crucially, new AC and heating.
Yeah.
Essential for year-round comfort, especially in Oregon, where the weather can vary.
Absolutely. Can't overlook climate control. And the basics.
Right.
Wi-Fi, parking.
Yep. Free Wi-Fi included, and complimentary parking for 1 vehicle per unit.
Yeah, good. Practical stuff covered. What about, outdoor space? Can you sit outside?
Yeah, there are options. The upstairs units get a private patio.
Oh, nice.
Which is a definite bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also an open downstairs patio area that seems accessible to all guests.
So shared space downstairs, private space upstairs. Good to have options. Okay, let's talk about the host, Sean. What's the story there?
Well, what's quite nice is the mention of his family being involved in getting the home ready. It adds a personal touch, doesn't it? Suggests real care.
It does, more than just a business transaction.
And his hosting philosophy is pretty straightforward. Keep the kitchen stocked, keep the bed comfy, focusing on the core essentials for a good stay.
I like that. Simple but effective. What else do we know about Sean, his background?
Okay, so born in the 70s,
Well,
went to Cal State San Bernardino. He enjoys travel and apparently is, quote, obsessed with finding great new spots.
Huh. Well, that's a good quality in host, I suppose. You'd hope he applies that obsession to his own rentals.
You would think so. Professionally, he's a full-time realtor and broker with Squire Realty, based out of Glendora, California.
Real estate background. That probably helps with the property management side of things.
Probably does. And it's not just him. His wife, Kate, and their 4 kids are also into exploring and adventure.
A traveling family.
Yeah. And the listing suggests that their own experiences as guests, good and maybe bad, have inspired how he hosts.
That makes a lot of sense. Learning from your own travels. How long has he been hosting? Is he established?
He's listed as a superhost on Airbnb, with
Yeah.
2 years of hosting experience.
Superhost status, that's usually a good sign. Consistent positive feedback.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
And Eugene isn't his only location. He also hosts properties in California, Carlsbad and Newport Beach, and Kihei, Maui, in Hawaii.
Wow, okay. Expanding the empire.
Seems like it. And they're all apparently bookable via a website, stayinthenest.com.
Good to know. So if you like the sound of this Eugene place, there might be others. And finding this specific property online.
It seems pretty visible. Listed on YouTube, Airbnb, VRBO, Google. So it should be easy enough to find if you're searching for Eugene rentals.
All right. Location, location, location. Let's get into that. Willamette Street. What's the area like?
The big emphasis is on it being a walkable area, and guest feedback seems to back that up.
Walkability in Eugene is definitely a plus. Saves on driving and parking hassles.
For sure. And it seems really well positioned for key attractions.
Like what? University.
Absolutely. Very close to the University of Oregon campus, also near the big sports venues, Autzen Stadium for football,
Go Ducks.
Matthew Knight Arena for basketball, PK Park for baseball.
So ideal if you're in town for a game or visiting the uni.
Definitely seems that way. And also close to Amazon Park for recreation and lots of other outdoor activities nearby.
What about just like grabbing food or essentials?
Yeah, it's close to plenty of shops and restaurants too, so convenient for both work trips and leisure.
Okay, sounds like a solid location overall. Let's switch to the practical stuff. Getting in, rules, etc. Check in.
It's self-check-in using a smart lock.
Easy peasy. No coordinating key handovers.
Right. But there's a step before you get the code. You need to complete something called the Nest Guest Pass link.
Okay, what's that?
It gets sent via text. It's basically your confirmation, but it also acts as the key info hub directions, digital guidebook for the property and area, all that.
Ah, okay, like a central digital welcome packet.
Exactly. And once you complete that, you get the August lock code for the door.
Makes sense. Is there a security deposit?
They call it a security hold. Important distinction, it's a hold on your card, not an upfront charge like a deposit. You only get charged if there's damage or an issue.
Right. Standard practice for many rentals now. Good to clarify. What about furry friends? Pets allowed.
Yes, pets are welcome, which
Yeah.
is great news for a lot of travelers.
Definitely opens it up. Is there a fee?
There is. It's $125 per pet. So factor that in if you bring in one.
Okay, $125 per pet. Got it. Any major house rules to be aware of?
The main ones highlighted are no parties allowed and quiet time after 9 p.m.
Pretty standard for a multi-unit place. Respect the neighbors.
Exactly. And they do encourage guests to ask questions if anything comes up.
Good. Open communication is key. Now, you mentioned the check-in process. There was another name involved, Enso Connect.
Yeah, Enso Connect. That seems to be the platform they use to manage that whole pre-arrival process, the rental agreement, verifying ID, handling the security hold. It's described as app-free, web-based.
So it streamlines all that admin stuff before you even get there.
Looks like it. It also functions as a sort of digital concierge once you're checked in, apparently. Access to house info, local tips.
Interesting. Sounds quite integrated. And if someone wants to really see the place before booking, virtual tours.
Yep, they mentioned that video and 3D tours are available if you ask, so you can get a proper look around remotely.
Very helpful. Okay, let's try and wrap this up. We've dug into this rental at 2351 Willamette Street. What are the main takeaways?
I think the standout feature is just the sheer versatility, Having those 6 different units, studios, 1 beds, 2 beds, all in one spot, really caters to a wide range of travelers.
Yeah, that flexibility is definitely a big one. And I think Sean, the host, and that family involvement, it suggests a level of care. The focus on stocked kitchens, comfy beds, the recent updates.
Right. It points towards a commitment to guest comfort beyond just the basics.
And then there's location. Can't argue with that. Being so close to the UO, the stadiums, parks, shops,
Yeah.
it's pretty prime Eugene real estate for visitors.
Super convenient. And the practicalities, like the self-check-in process using the smart lock and that Enso Connect system, seem designed to make the arrival smooth and hassle-free.
It definitely sounds like they're trying to remove friction points for guests.
So maybe the final thought for you, listening, is to consider what kind of Eugene experience you're looking for. Is it a solo research trip? A family visit for graduation? Coming with friends for a big game?
Right, because how you answer that influences what you need from your accommodation.
Exactly. How could having this kind of centrally located, well-equipped, potentially flexible home away from home fit into your specific plans? And thinking about hosts like Sean, what questions would you need answered to feel confident this is the perfect base for your Eugene adventure?